I have a question for you. If you discovered her spouse having sex with two ladies in your hotel suite, how would you respond? One was a loudmouthed newcomer who wasn't even permitted to be in the building. And the other was the same woman who said, "I never crossed that line." Because Remy Ma experienced precisely that. The worst part is that a hidden camera captured the entire event. It's not a rumor, that's for sure. She said, "This isn't a he said. This is captured on full HD tape treachery." Remy Ma entered. Papoose caught her eye. Claressa caught her eye. Tesehki caught her eye. Then she caught sight of red. They called security. The footage leaked. The internet is currently experiencing an emotional crisis. People are picking sides. Friendships are dissolving. She hasn't even spoken, Remy. However, we learned what went on behind the scenes. And believe me when I say that what you're about to hear will alter your entire perspective on lies, love, and loyalty. This story is not only complicated but also destructive, so don't flinch. Let's not mince words. Perhaps the most heartbreaking event in Remy Ma's public life was what just transpired. Not only did the camera catch it, but it also recorded every moment of it. What waited for her behind that hotel room door was unknown to her. Because of the season finale, she believed she was going upstairs for an unexpected meeting. Instead, she entered a scene that would have viewers wondering, how could this happen to her? Split the cast and rock the internet. It all began at a private filming site in Atlanta. Remy was informed by producers that she was needed for a brief confessional pickup, nothing big. Just something usual and little. She arrived by herself, punctually and with concentration. She was unaware that her husband, yes, Papoose, was in a suite with not one, but two cast members just 2 floors above her. And not just anyone, but Claressa Shields, the undefeated boxing champion who has recently been spending a suspicious amount of time around Papoose and Toy, the unpredictable wild card who's been popping in and out of narrative lines with little explanation but a lot of attention. We all know that Remy Ma has experienced a great deal, so let's take a moment to reflect. During her most difficult years, she kept Papoose in check. She created a legacy, a brand, and a family. Therefore, she had no idea that she was entering a situation that would shatter her as she got out of the elevator without any cameras watching her or a script in her hand. She allegedly received a message from a member of the production crew. 3 words, "Hurry up and come upstairs." Just a room number, no further description. 1708. According to eyewitnesses and confirmed by released hallway surveillance footage. Remy swiped the card, opened the door, and froze. The interior of Papoose. Claressa was silent and at ease as she sat on the side of the bed, ignoring Tesehki and her phone. At first, no one spoke. No one moved. The air simply froze. Remy gazed for a few moments. Softly, she said one thing. "Really?" She then reportedly passed out at the entryway, according to witnesses. Her knees buckled. She hid her face, and there was silence in the room for a bit. This is the bit that has everyone on the internet trembling. The whole interaction was recorded by a covert camera that was production has apparently already installed it in the suite to test lighting angles for future confessionals. We'll let you judge whether or not that's accurate. What matters, though, is that the video was released. 36 hours later, an anonymous account posted it online. No sound, only pictures. Remy comes in. Papoose looked at Tesehki and laughed uneasily. Slow-motion footage of Remy falling out of frame and Claressa rearranging her hair. It was unadulterated, authentic, and unaltered. The fans immediately went into overdrive. I've never seen someone look so hurt in silence. You can feel it. One post said, while another said, this was someone having their entire world fall apart in real time. No way this was staged. However, that wasn't the end of it, as the second clip, which was longer this time, at 21 seconds with timecode later appeared. Additionally, this one had people were inconsolable as Rhee's voice cracked as she added, "I would have never done this to you." There was hardly enough audio for everyone to hear. Twitter threads, TikTok reactions, Instagram reposts, and comments like, "Not Remy Ma finding out like this? This feels like a movie, but it's all real." And the big question became, was this a one-time mistake? Or has something deeper been going on? Because Claressa and Papoose, they've been really comfortable around each other lately. Training sessions, business talks, and appearances where Remy was nowhere to be seen. And Tesehki, she's always unpredictable. But her being in that room raises a lot of questions. Insiders claim that Papoose has been aloof during recent filming, arriving late, departing early, and avoiding the camera as much as possible. One crew member stated that he stopped playing the doting husband role months ago. "We just didn't know why, but now we do." And fans aren't holding back. They're calling this the ultimate betrayal. Not just because of what happened in that room, but because of everything that preceded it, years of devotion, public acclaim, and a marriage that people believed was unbreakable and is now gone. In just 17 seconds of silent footage, Remy has gone completely silent online, no posts, likes, or even a story, and that silence is loud. However, this is only the beginning, as in part 2. We're delving into the hidden messages, the previous exchanges, the private moments, and the footage that Mona Scott allegedly attempted to shut down. And once you see what's coming next, you'll realize that this wasn't just a shocking scene, but rather a setup. Tesehki grinned, and as soon as she hits the ground, Kay can almost feel the weight of all the time she stood by Papoose's side, every time she held him down. However, the world didn't see what was happening behind that camera weeks, maybe months, before the collapse, because sources are now revealing that this betrayal wasn't unplanned. It was calculated and protected. Let's start with the first shocking revelation. According to an anonymous crew member, we'll call her Kiod Keisha, the suite where Papoose, Claressa and Tesehki were filmed was pre-reserved by production, but not for any official scene. In fact, she claims the room was tagged internally as VIP Confidential Level 3, a label used only when certain cast members request to remain off the call sheet. Translation: they didn't want this part of the story to be public until it became inevitable. And it gets worse. A text thread purportedly leaked by someone posing as an assistant producer reveals to production heads talking about how Remy's arrival must feel natural and that will let her enter without preventing her from doing so. One line of the thread literally reads, "If she enters and sees what we believe she'll see, it's game over. Take it." The game is over. Take it. Fans are now questioning whether this was a deliberate production trap or a real betrayal. Because if Remy Ma truly didn't know what she was walking into, then what happened wasn't just personal. It was engineered. Let's break down the cast reactions because, oh boy, the responses were immediate and they were messy. First up, Fat Joe. He took to Instagram Live less than an hour after the footage dropped and said, "Some things you don't play with. Family, love, and loyalty. It's not content. Life is like that." He didn't mention names, but his message was quite apparent. Yandi then displayed a black screen with the words, "I saw everyone's eyes, but I'm not saying anything." Tesehki's sister, Sukahana, wrote, "I love my sister, but I would have flipped that bed myself." In response to a rebroadcast of the video, "It's bad." Mona Scott, the creator of Empire, had the most outrageous response, posting an article hours after the video was revealed with the tagline, "When you build an empire out of truth, expect earthquakes." What does that even mean? People are now guessing that Monet, who was not just new but also helped set everything up. Why? For ratings, for a plot so stunning that it would eclipse all previous LH moments combined. It's extremely possible since, get this, immediately after the video went viral, and an email purportedly from a VH1 marketing intern surfaced on various gossip sites. The email, headlined Q4 Finale Asset Plan, lists important promotional objectives, one of which is to maximize emotional fallout from the Room 1708 situation. Make use of split-screen images. Make use of fan divide. Make use of fan divide. There is no scandal here, not to mention the time this is entertainment warfare. Claressa had just finished a tour of the press. Tesehki recently inked a side contract for a potential spin-off. Recently, Papoose shared mysterious Instagram posts that said, "Sometimes the heart needs what the mind can't explain. Everything is clear now." Fans, however, aren't buying the polished version as the network tries to mold the story. Raw emotional reactions were all over Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. "You're no better than the people who hurt her. If Remy Mahar actually collapsed and you let that air for clicks." One remark went viral. One remark went viral. Another person remarked, "Forget scripted." This felt like trauma caught in real time. The question now is whether this was a passing phase or if Remy and Papoose's relationship was truly over. Because this is what we have verified in the days after the disclosure. Producers have not received a response from Remy Ma. Papoose has stopped talking altogether. Tesehki has been seen filming by herself. Claressa shared and then removed a mirror selfie with the words, "Not everything that glitters is fake." And there's another thing, too. An unnamed insider just disclosed that a third, longer sound clip featuring Remy's whole response exists. It was allegedly too intense to broadcast without permission from the authorities. And until the reunion episode, it is presently being kept in a vault. A vault, indeed. And guess who allegedly insisted that it remain locked? The real Remy Ma. What does that signify for the reunion then? Will she even appear? Will Papoose attempt an on-camera apology? Will Mona acknowledge allowing this to occur? Because a broken relationship is no longer the only issue here. It is the story of a lady whose life, love, and trust shrank before a camera and the individuals who let it happen. The aftermath, legal threats, cast walkouts, confidential NDA offers. And Remy Ma's one move that might permanently damage Papoose's reputation are all covered in Part 3. There was more than simply a scandal when the video surfaced. There was an earthquake. The entire cast, the production crew, and most significantly, Remy Ma are still feeling the effects of the aftershocks. Because Remy has apparently entered legal mode and isn't playing games. But Papoose, Claressa, and Tesehki have all either gotten quiet or played coy. Let's begin with the verified. A trustworthy source on the VH1 legal team claims that Rhee's team has sent a formal cease and desist notice to producers about the unreleased long-form video. Yes, the third clip we previously referenced is that one. The one that purports to have Rhee's whole breakdown, full audio, and hidden viewpoints. According to the letter, the video was shot without anyone's knowledge or consent. And showing it would cause irreversible emotional harm. In other words, Remy doesn't want her lowest self to be seen by the world. And who was to blame? The woman who fought for her family, rebuilt her brand, defended her reputation for years, is now at the center of a 4K betrayal. This is where things become even more complicated, though. 2 cast members have reportedly vowed to leave the forthcoming reunion taping if the video is shown to the public, according to people close to the program. According to Yandi, one of those names. The producers went too far by encouraging a personal breakdown for the sake of the material. Tesehki herself was shocked by the other. Indeed, the same lady who was present in the space. According to insiders, Toy has been greatly impacted by the criticism and now says she was unaware that Remy would be entering. According to reports, she said to a staff member, "This isn't what I signed up for. I didn't want to be the villain." But the damage is already done. Fan pages that once commended Claressa for her strength and confidence are now overflowing with remarks such as, "You could have had anyone. Why her, man? It's not a strength." This is treachery. Remy was worthy of better. Period. Even Claressa's most recent brand collaboration was discreetly halted without a public word from the sponsor. Next up is Papoose, the man who used to be the hip-hop industry's greatest spouse, and is currently trending for all the wrong reasons. With blogs unearthing old videos of him, defending Remy, praising loyalty, and cautioning other men not to play with a woman's heart. Now, those same clips are being remixed and dragged all over TikTok. One viral video even spliced his previous interviews with the leaked footage captioned, "When the mask finally slips." However, While the internet is reacting, Remy Ma is preparing to tell her side of the story in her own way, not through a reunion seat. Not through a tweet, but through a dossier. Yes. You read correctly, a number of streaming platforms are already in talks with her team for a limited series about love, betrayal, and public image. And guess what? The rumored first episode is called Sweet 1708. Mic drop. If accurate, this could be the most powerful move Remy's ever made. Regaining control of her narrative and exposing not just Papoose, but and it wouldn't stop there. According to a second source, Remy is also considering making public voice notes and private text messages that she exchanged with Papoose in the weeks preceding the betrayal. It includes texts in which she confronts him about Claressa, in which he denies everything and tells her, "You're paranoid, you're insecure, you're overthinking it, and the worst one? You'll always be my number one. All I need is room." The very next day, he was seen with Claressa at an invite-only event in Miami, smiling and laughing. Now fans want the whole truth. They want answers, and they're demanding VH1 either air the extended footage with Remy's approval or scrap it entirely. One trending tweet says, "Protecting black women doesn't stop at protest hashtags." Remy Ma is a human being, a mother, and a warrior. Treat her as such. Production is in complete disarray in the meanwhile. The real plot twist is that someone leaked a screenshot of a private message from Remy to Mona that reads, "You built an empire on our pain. Staff members are, reportedly, being pulled from other shows to prepare for a reunion that may not even happen." Mona Scott hasn't made a public statement since the initial leak. And there are rumors that she is attempting to persuade Remy to make an appearance, even if it's just for a final send-off. You can now stop it without mine. Where do we go from here? Will Remy make it back for the reunion? Will the video be shown against her will? Will Claressa Tesehki finally speak in public or remain silent and use edits? Because this scandal is about more than just who slept with whom. It's about a woman who gave her all only to be taken by surprise, humiliated, and betrayed by the people she trusted the most. It's your turn to weigh in. If you were Remy Ma, would you ever forgive something like this? Or is this the kind of betrayal you never recover from? Should Mona Scott air that final footage or let it stay locked forever? What about Claressa and Tesehki? Were they simply caught in the moment? Or were they both fully aware of what they were doing? Because one thing is certain, this wasn't just a mistake, and the internet saw it all. The drama never sleeps here at Gossip Spell Vibe, and neither do we. Whether you're on Team Remy or Team Claressa or like the rest of us, you're just amazed that it ever got this far. Please hit the bell, like this video, and subscribe if you want to be the first to know every exclusive twist, leak, and bombshell as it happens.